So let's enable this. And look at this. Oh my God. It's telling me that it's, not fully autonomous yet. Full self-driving is an early limited access beta and must be used with additional caution. It may do the wrong thing at the worst time. Sometimes I just don't understand the stupidity. So apparently California is making a new bill that is really kind of targeting full self-driving and autopilot from Tesla. The stupidity, the absolute stupidity. Click like, click subscribe, indulge in your life at indulgeclothing.com for the merch. And let's explain how stupid this bill actually is. Yeah, let me show you. So the specific article that I'm reading is from a website called thedrive.com. I try to find more unbiased websites, than CNN or, anyone else. Apparently, California targets Tesla's full self-driving with newly passed bill. And the bill aims to clear confusion on what is and isn't self-driving for cars. And this is just one article, but there's many of these, and I see similar complaints every day in my Facebook group. So of course, they have the bill here on the webpage for you to read through yourself. But essentially it states that Tesla may face a new legal battle from its former home state, who I know hates them now that they've moved to Texas where everything's much cheaper. May sound like deja vu from Department of Motor Vehicles, blah, blah. So apparently first is trying to stop the practice of misrepresenting the true function of a driver assistance feature by inferring more advanced compatibility in its branding. It calls out this practice and forbids automakers from branding or creating marketing material for... You may or may not know it, but Tesla actually doesn't do any marketing and no marketing for full self-driving, but hey, that's besides the point. Partially automated stack with language that implies or would otherwise lead to a reasonable person to believe that the feature allows the vehicle to function as an autonomous vehicle. Now, I know many of you have probably never been on Tesla's website, but when you get down to the section where you want to either choose enhanced autopilot or full self-driving capability, it, of course tells you right here, it does not make the vehicle autonomous. Yeah. So the next part is that it would require the automakers and dealerships to provide customers with a distinct notice that clearly outlines the functions and limitations of any partially automated feature. This notice is also given to customers at the time of delivery, or if an upgrade is purchased during ownership, for example, upgrading from standard autopilot to full self-driving for $15,000. I mean, if only when I went into the software to enable these features, it happened to tell me that... So I've actually created a whole new profile just for my full self-driving so I could show you how this works. So when you get into your car and you're wanting full self-driving, you have to go into your menu and then go into autopilot, where then you have all of these options to enable all of this fancy stuff. So let's enable it. So auto steer, which tells you it's in beta. You click the button and you get this whole disclaimer that the auto steer is in beta. Auto steer is a driver assistance feature and does not make your vehicle autonomous. Does not make your vehicle autonomous. Please use it only if you pay attention to the road, keep your hands on the steering wheel, and be prepared to take over at any time. Auto steer is designed for use on highways that have a center divider, clear lane marking, no cross traffic. It should not be used on highways that have very sharp turns or lane markings that are absent or faded. The auto steer is currently in beta, which is why we encourage a higher level of vigilance. If this were a computer or mobile phone, we would not refer to it as beta, but we believe the standards are considerably higher for vehicle control and want to be clear about the proper use of auto steer. Please refer to the manual, blah, blah, blah. Do you want to enable auto steer? So then, you say yes. Hey, there we go. It saved that setting. That's in. So now navigate on autopilot. So let's enable that. That's also very clearly on beta. And then here, if you look at that, navigate on autopilot does not make your Model 3 autonomous. Like other autopilot features, the driver is still responsible for the car at all times. When navigate on autopilot is enabled, Model 3 will determine which lane you need to be in addition to ensuring you reach your exit. It'll watch for opportunities to move into a faster lane. Use navigate on autopilot only if you will pay attention to the road. Keep your hands on the steering wheel and be prepared to take over at any time. Your Model 3 LED will indicate when a lane change or exit is coming, but you are still responsible for monitoring the environment and maintaining control. When using Navigate on Autopilot, always visually check your environment and blind spots before confirming a lane change. Be extra careful for blind corners and highway interchanges and exits. Exiting highways, remember that Autopilot will not stop on its own, add stoplights or stop signs, or yield for mergers. Now, little caveat there, if you have full self-driving beta, it will actually do that. So a lot of people aren't going to have full self-driving beta when they enable this. So that's why that's there. So do you want to enable? Yes. Yay. Now we've got Navigate on Autopilot. Now, then the last one, full self-driving beta. So of course, not everybody will have this. To know if your car is compatible, you must see the full self-driving compatibility included package. And also you need full self-driving computer. So let's enable this. And look at this. Oh my God. It's telling me that it's, not fully autonomous yet. Full self-driving is an early limited access beta and must be used with additional caution. It may do the wrong thing at the worst time, so you must always keep your hands on the wheel and pay extra attention to the road. Do not become complacent. When FSD is enabled, your Model 3 will make lane changes off highway. So select forks to follow your navigation route, navigate around other vehicles and objects, and make left and right turns. Use FSD in limited beta only if you will pay constant attention to the road and be prepared to act immediately, especially around blind corners, crossing, yada yada. Cabin camera is used to detect driver attentiveness, while FSD beta is in use to provide you with audible alerts reminding you to keep your eyes on the road. Then there's an extra check mark. By enabling FSD beta, I can sense Tesla's collection of event-associated image data from the vehicle's exterior cameras and cabin cameras in the occurrence of a serious safety risk or a safety event like a collision. You have to select that, and then yes. And then one that I almost forgot is traffic light and stop sign control, which also, of course, when you enable this, it tells you traffic light and stop sign control is designed to slow down and stop for visible traffic lights or stop signs that are detected when traffic-aware cruise control or auto steer is engaged. Driver accelerator or stalk confirmation is required to proceed through all traffic controls, including green lights, blinking lights, and off lights. The vehicle will continue straight and will not make turns. The traffic light and stop sign control feature will not control for all intersections. Therefore, you must pay attention and be ready to take immediate action at all times, including braking. This feature may be conservative and slow down often at first. Over time, it'll learn from the fleet. The feature will control more naturally. Performance may be degraded in difficult environments with pedestrians, rain, direct sunlight, or when approaching traffic controls that are obstructed. Do you want to enable traffic light and stop sign control while in beta? Yes. So all of that is on here when you enable Autopilot and full self-driving. Now, they do mention that Tesla does warn drivers of the limitations on its support website. However, they failed to mention the fact that when you enable these features that you have a whole list of information that you read through. They also mention this video where Tesla was showing that the vehicle was driving itself from 2016. And I mean, it's just showing what the software will be capable of doing. And then another little part, it blames the marketing and nameplate could be the reason for a 2018 study conducted by the AAA Foundation of Traffic Safety. It found that 40% of responders thought that a vehicle was able to drive itself when equipped with a feature like Tesla Autopilot, Nissan ProPilot, or Volvo Pilot Assist. Look, we can't really control the stupidity of people who would just see something like that and instantly think, oh, it's gonna drive itself. Even if the software is literally called full self-driving, it clearly says that it's in beta. If you don't know what beta is, then you might should look that up. And then if you enabled the features and read through exactly what I read you from my car, you should also know at that point that the car does not drive itself at this time. Also, one other caveat here is that these features are not enabled by default. That was actually why I made a new profile, was so that I could show you enabling these features. When you make your profile on your car, they are not enabled, and then you have to select them. It's not false marketing, it's not misleading, it's idiots who are paying $15,000 for something and they just don't know what they're buying. It's crazy the amount of people that are in Facebook groups that I'm in that buy Teslas and just don't even understand the simplest part of the car. Like it's truly mind-blowing because they're spending anywhere from $45,000 to $125,000 on a vehicle, and then they get in the car and they're confused because, you know, they can't kick their seat back and relax and go to sleep while they drive an hour from their house to their office. In the end, I essentially made this video just to prove that Tesla very clearly shows you that it's not an autonomous vehicle, it's just the name of the software. And when you buy the software on the website, as long as you read, it tells you that. When you enable the features on the car itself, it also tells you that. So the fact that people are enabling these features and then getting in crashes or, you know, not paying attention and going off the road, it's their own fault. It tells you it needs to have good lines, it tells you all of this information, and if you're not paying attention, that's your fault, not Tesla's fault. And to add a nice comparison here, if you look at Supercruise, which is also a driver assistant technology from GM, it tells you, you know, hands-free driving, cutting edge technology, compatible roads, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, normally when you see these little asterisks, they're in tiny, tiny writing down here at the bottom, not on Chevy's website. To actually learn this information, you have to literally click it. And then it gives you a little pop-up about more details. So for example, here, when you click on hands-free driving, you get a little pop-up that just says miles driven by GM customers. So if anybody's false advertising anything, definitely this, more than Tesla, being very, very clear on their website and also very clear when you enable the features. So that will do it for today's rant. I swear I think I see an article every day or I see a complaint in a Facebook group every day about how full self-driving doesn't do what that it says. And I just had to prove to people that it literally clearly explains it on the website and in the car. But apparently people buy $40,000 to $125,000 vehicles and do not know how to read. So that'll do it for this one. Hope you guys liked the video. Click like, click subscribe, indulge in your life at indulgeclothing.com for the merch, and I'll see you the next time that I create some Tesla rant because people are morons. Deuces.